The 2024 NFL Draft was supposed to be one of the best in recent memory, loaded with quarterback talent, elite receivers, and game-changing defenders. And now, a year and a half later, we finally have enough data to judge which teams got it right. Some of these picks look even better than they did on draft night, while others, let's just say a few front offices are probably wishing they could have a do-over, or heck, maybe even a different job entirely. So today, we are completely redrafting the first round based on what we know now. Same teams, same draft order, but the players slotted where they should have gone based on their actual production. And we're gonna start off in reverse order from pick 32 to pick 1. So, without any further ado, let us dive right into it. Pick 32, Carolina Panthers, Xavier Legette. Originally taken at pick 32 by the Panthers. Charlotte, we need to talk. Legette has been an absolute disaster. 20 catches for 181 yards in 2025 with 9 drops. 9. The Panthers traded up and gave away a second-round pick to grab this guy, and what did they get? A receiver so disappointing that they had to draft another one in the top 10 this year, who, by the way, has been outpacing Legette in every meaningful category. If we had the option to drop him out of the first round entirely, we would, without a second thought. But for the purposes of this redraft, Legette stays last because there just isn't anywhere else to put him. Pick 31, San Francisco 49ers. J.J. McCarthy, originally taken at pick 10 by the Vikings. McCarthy has been brutal since getting slotted in as the starter. There are no two ways about it. But hey, if anyone can fix McCarthy, it's probably Kyle Shanahan. The 49ers stash him as a developmental project behind Brock Purdy and hope that the system can unlock something. At 31, that's a pretty reasonable gamble. Man, though, at 10, Minnesota reached badly. Pick 30, Baltimore Ravens. Jordan Morgan, originally taken at pick 25 by the Packers. Jordan Morgan has been okay for the Packers so far. Part of the problem is that they continue to move him around the line and he hasn't really gotten a chance to settle into playing at the NFL level. Who knows, perhaps John Harbaugh and co can take a swing at getting Morgan up to speed. Blocking in their run-heavy scheme would at least simplify things for the big man. Pick 29, Dallas Cowboys. Ricky Pearsall, originally taken at pick 31 by the 49ers. Pearsall has been a reliable complementary piece when healthy. Dallas has 2 studs at receiver already in CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens, but Pearsall would give Dak Prescott a steady option in the slot that would make this offense even scarier. Pick 28, Kansas City Chiefs. Marvin Harrison Jr., originally taken at pick 4 by the Cardinals. Through a season and a half, it has been about as ugly as it can get for the Ohio State star, both production-wise and in terms of the vibes around Harrison Jr. and the way that he fits into that Cardinals locker room. Kansas City, however, gives him a chance to restart his career catching passes from Patrick Mahomes and to blend into a mature, unified locker room. Maybe that's just what he needs because, well, whatever he's doing in Arizona is not working. Pick 27, Arizona Cardinals. Graham Barton, originally taken at pick 26 by the Buccaneers. Barton has been reliable, consistent, and pretty durable up front for Tampa. The Cardinals could really benefit from his skill set, as their offensive line has been woefully inconsistent all season. Pick 26, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Darius Robinson, originally taken at pick 27 by the Cardinals. Solid rotational piece on the defensive line and could help solidify the Bucs' run D. That's exactly what you want from a late first rounder. Nothing more, nothing less. Pick 25, Green Bay Packers. Nate Wiggins, originally taken at pick 30 by the Ravens. Green Bay has been a force to be reckoned with on the defensive side of the ball, following the blockbuster Micah Parsons trade. Now just imagine this group with a stud like Nate Wiggins locking down opposing wide receivers. It would be simply unfair. Pick 24, Detroit Lions. Tyler Guyton, originally taken at pick 29 by the Cowboys. Guyton has been a starting caliber tackle who keeps improving each and every week. Detroit's offensive line is already strong, but adding depth only protects their championship window, especially with some of the injuries that they've endured this year. Pick 23, Jacksonville Jaguars. Michael Penix Jr., originally taken at pick 8 by the Falcons. At 23, Jacksonville can take a swing on a developmental quarterback behind Trevor Lawrence, and to be honest, there isn't a great place for Penix in this draft. Honestly, he probably should just fall out of the first round entirely, at least based on his performance and injury concerns. But yeah, I think Jacksonville's probably the best bet here. Pick 22, Philadelphia Eagles, Dallas Turner, originally taken at pick 17 by the Vikings. Turner has been a fine linebacker, nothing spectacular, nothing awful. Philly's defense really could use his athleticism though, and 22 is appropriate value for what he's produced. Plus, I mean, based on the way we've seen Vic Fangio and the Eagles defense set up young players for success, this one feels like a high upside no-brainer. Pick 21, Miami Dolphins, Chop Robinson, originally taken at pick 21 by the Dolphins. Yeah, Miami's pass rush has benefited from Robinson's development. He's getting better every month, and the Dolphins got this one right. Nothing more needs to be said. Pick 20, Pittsburgh Steelers, Amarius Mims, originally taken at pick 18 by the Bengals. Opening up opportunities for the running game and protecting the quarterback have long been priority number one in Pittsburgh. Mims slides here and gives the Steelers another quality offensive line piece. Pick 19, Los Angeles Rams, Terrion Arnold, originally taken at pick 24 by the Lions. It was touch and go early in 2024 for the young corner, but Arnold showed some real talent down the stretch and early this season before a shoulder injury ended his year. The Rams need a secondary help, and Sean McVay can develop him into a high-end starter. And at 19, the upside is definitely worth the injury risk. Pick 18, Cincinnati Bengals, Troy Fautanu, originally taken at pick 20 by the Steelers. Protecting Joe Burrow is everything in Cincinnati. At least it should be. Fautanu has been solid, and taking him might have actually helped the Bengals keep Burrow upright and healthy this year. Pick 17, Minnesota Vikings, Xavier Worthy, originally taken at pick 28 by the Chiefs. Worthy has been exactly what you want from a late first-rounder. A speed element who stretches defenses and opens up everything underneath. The man ran the fastest 40-yard dash in NFL Combine history, and he's put that speed to good use catching passes from Patrick Mahomes. Minnesota pairs him with Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison, and boom, suddenly the Vikings have one of the most dynamic receiver trios in football. Pick 16, Seattle Seahawks, Laiatu Latu, originally taken at pick 15 by the Colts. The Seahawks defense has been a revelation this year under Mike McDonald, and while Byron Murphy II has been a big part of it, the reality is that he'd be snaked out sooner in a redraft. Coming into this draft, the Seahawks needed pass rush help desperately, and Latu has delivered that for the Colts and looks to be continually improving. Honestly, he would be a great piece on this talented, angry Seattle D. Pick 15, Indianapolis Colts, Byron Murphy II, originally taken at pick 16 by the Seahawks. Byron Murphy has come alive during his sophomore campaign in the Pacific Northwest. By jumping the Seahawks to take the forceful D-tackle, Indy gets a quality interior defender who has been disruptive against the run and the pass and can really solidify their defense. Pick 14, New Orleans Saints, Talisa Fuaga, originally taken at pick 14 by the Saints. New Orleans' offensive line has been a mess over the past few seasons, but you know, Fuaga's been one of the few bright spots here. New Orleans catches a break, and one of its better picks in recent memory falls to them right here. Fuaga stays put. Pick 13, Las Vegas Raiders, Brian Thomas Jr., originally taken at pick 23 by the Jaguars. Oh boy, Sin City desperately needs weapons, and while they were fortunate to luck into Brock Bowers, their peers in the redraft are a little more savvy. Either way, the Raiders end up with a top-class pass catcher. BTJ had a phenomenal rookie year. 1,282 yards and 10 touchdowns with Trevor Lawrence throwing him the ball. Even if 2025 hasn't been that kind with a sophomore slump, the talent is legit, and the Raiders get a true number one receiver to build around. And at 13, that is some tremendous value. Pick 12, Denver Broncos, Rome Odunze, originally taken at pick 9 by the Bears. Odunze has been a reliable complementary piece, exactly what a contending team with a young quarterback and offense genius for a coach needs to bolster its offense. Solid floor, decent ceiling, no drama. Denver pairs him with Bo Nix and gets a guy who can develop into a true wide receiver one for the future. Mile High would be a very fun landing spot for a player this explosive. Pick 11, New York Jets, Malik Neighbors, originally taken at pick 6 by the Giants. While Garrett Wilson is a stud, he can't do it alone, and the Jets have needed receiver help desperately. Enter Malik Neighbors, who is sensational as a rookie. 1,204 yards, franchise records, and has looked like he is on his way to another Pro Bowl selection. Well, before tearing his ACL early in 2025. That's not a draft evaluation issue, though. That's just terrible luck. his talent is undeniable. And you know, I think that's more than the Jets can really say about most of their roster. Pick 10, Minnesota Vikings, Olu Fashanu, originally taken at pick 11 by the Jets. Instead of reaching for McCarthy, Minnesota takes a rock-solid offensive tackle. What should really excite Vikings fans is that this is the alternate timeline where Minnesota doesn't let Sam Darnold walk for a project quarterback who just wasn't ready. They keep Darnold, draft Fashanu here, and probably have a much better record. Hey, imagine that. Pick 9, Chicago Bears, J.C. Latham, originally taken at pick 7 by the Titans. Chicago's second first-round pick goes towards protecting their franchise quarterback. Latham has been a fine starting tackle, and building a wall around a young signal caller is definitely the right call. Look, you can never have too much offensive line help, especially with how that unit was looking for the 2 or 3 years leading up to this draft. Pick 8, Atlanta Falcons, Bo Nix, originally taken at pick 12 by the Broncos. Yo, forget the Penix disaster. Instead, Atlanta takes a quarterback who's actually out there winning games. Nix has the Broncos sitting atop the AFC West with clutch fourth-quarter performances and ice in his veins when the game is on the line. Yeah, his numbers aren't always world-class, and there have been some inconsistent stretches, but you know, the man delivers when it matters most, something that the Falcons would kill to have under center. Pick 7, Tennessee Titans, Jared Verse, originally taken at pick 19 by the Rams. Here's a change-up for the Titans. Instead of throwing a dart at their positional needs and taking J.C. Latham, Tennessee builds their defense around a game wrecker. Verse won Defensive Rookie of the Year and led the entire NFL in pressures as a rookie with 89. He's continued that dominance into year 2, and opposing offensive coordinators are game planning around him every single week. Pick 6, New York Giants, Quinion Mitchell, originally taken at pick 22 by the Eagles. Quinion Mitchell has been arguably the best cornerback in football over the past year and a half. The Toledo product finished second in Defensive Rookie of the Year voting, made the NFL's top 100 list as a sophomore, and has opposing quarterbacks terrified to throw his way. Neighbors has been great, but the Giants weren't a receiver away. By making the move to get Mitchell, New York gets an elite shutdown corner to anchor the back end of their defense for the next decade. Pick 5, Los Angeles Chargers, Joe Alt, originally taken at pick 5 by the Chargers. Alt has been rock solid protecting Justin Herbert when healthy. The Chargers got this one exactly right, and Jim Harbaugh's ground-heavy offense has benefited greatly from his presence up front. While there are plenty of teams that would have loved to jump up and steal Alt, the Chargers were fortunate that positional demands kept them slotted in to take their talented tackle in our redraft. Pick 4, Arizona Cardinals, Brock Bowers, originally taken at pick 13 by the Raiders. The Cardinals had Kyler Murray. They did not need a quarterback. What they really needed was an offensive weapon to get this group back on track. And, well, that's what they thought they were getting with Marvin Harrison Jr. Of course, none of this has been the case. But hey, by taking Bowers instead, you get the most productive offensive player in this entire class. Bowers didn't just have a good rookie season. He had a historically great one. He broke Mike Ditka's 63-year-old record for receiving yards by a rookie tight end with 1,194 and Puka Nakua's record for most receptions by any rookie with 112 catches. Who knows? Maybe if the Cardinals make this move, Murray to Bowers becomes one of the most dangerous connections in football, and both Kyler's and Arizona's trajectories are drastically different. Pick 3, New England Patriots, Caleb Williams, originally taken at pick 1 by the Bears. Caleb Williams has been good this season, and the arm talent is undeniable. He's one of the better pure athletes at the position in the game. Better yet, Williams has the Bears fighting for the NFC North crown. He may still be chasing Daniels in May, but Williams is still a franchise quarterback with a very bright future. But in our redraft, New England still gets a signal caller of the future. Just not the one that they might have wanted in hindsight. Pick 2, Washington Commanders, Jaden Daniels, originally taken at pick 2 by the Commanders. Daniels was electric as a rookie. Offensive Rookie of the Year, led Washington to the NFC Championship game, and had the entire league buzzing about the Commanders for the first time in years. The 2025 injuries are a bit concerning. I mean, he missed 6 games with a dislocated elbow, and the Commanders have fallen without him. But, I mean, come on. The talent is absolutely undeniable. Washington got their guy, and we keep him right here at number 2. Pick 1, Chicago Bears, Drake May, originally taken at pick 3 by the Patriots. Oh yeah, this right here is the new number 1 overall pick. No questions about it. He was solid in year 1 despite all of the dysfunction of the Jared Mayo era and the challenges that just kind of come with being a rookie starter in the NFL. But man, May has been absolutely sensational in year 2. The Patriots went from 4-13 to now an 11-2 start. He's completing in the neighborhood of 65% of his passes, has thrown for 3,412 yards with 23 touchdowns and just 6 interceptions, and is currently generating semi-legitimate MVP buzz. I mean, seeing as how New England went from one of the worst teams in football post-Brady to the top seed in the AFC, well, that's just kind of been something to behold in real time. There were a lot of sharp moves that front office made this offseason, but May is the single biggest reason as to why they have hit a new level. Caleb is also improved, but man, Smart Money says if Chicago had another swing at it, they would go with May and get the best player in the draft, the one who's actually proven that he can transform a franchise overnight. But hey, who do you think got robbed at this draft? Who do you think reached? Which team do you think made the worst pick? What do you think of our redrafts? Let us know in the comment section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, then hey, clicking the like button helps us out a ton. And you know, we really appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, then subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.